Hello everyone, today I'm going to teach you on how to install Visual Studio Code for C or C++ projects in Windows 10. First of all, you need to download MinGW. Let's go to Google and then type MinGW. Once you type MinGW, you will see a lot of links for you to download MinGW. Just select the first one, and I will prefer you to download something that has this kind of interface. Just click download. Next, we're going to install the MinGW. Let's go to the place where you've downloaded. In my case, I have downloaded in the downloads folder, so I'm going to double click the MinGW get setup exe file, click install, and then take note that it will be installed in C drive in MinGW folder. Do not change this path because we'll be setting up the environment variables later. Just click continue and then let it download and install the installation files. When you reach at this stage, just click continue and then select MinGW 32 base and mark for installation. Also select MinGW, GCC and G++. These are the compilers, so just click on them and mark for installation. After that, click installation and apply changes, then click apply. Once you reach here, you can see the close button, and you can close by clicking the close button, and you also can click here to close the window. Once you have actually installed the MinGW, you have to set up the environment variables. For that, let us go to the place where it has been installed. Let's go to C drive, look for MinGW folder, and then look for bin directory. Here you can see that the GCC compiler and C++ compiler has been installed. So remember the path, which is MinGW bin from the C directory. Go and set up the environment variables. So just click search and type env. Click edit and then click environment variables and then scroll down for path and then click edit. Here you need to add new. In my case, I already have the path set up here. You can see that here. Otherwise, I can show you how we can set it up. Just delete first. Okay, now I'm going to click new and then just type C directory // and then type MinGW, and then do not forget the bin directory, so put a / again and type bin and then click OK, and then click OK, and then click OK. Once you have done these first 3 steps, you are okay to go. But in case you want to try it out, if you want to make sure your compiler is working, you can carry out this extra step, but it is not mandatory. It is just optional. But anyway, I'm going to show you how you can test out your compiler. Just go in to the search and then type cmd. You will reach here, type command prompt and then type notepad, and then just try to create a C file, maybe call it as tasks.c, and then you can start typing your code here. Okay, I'm going to pause the video so we can actually type the code. Okay, I already typed the code. Okay, it is ready for compilation and execution. Just go to the command prompt and then call the GCC command, which is GNUC compiler, and then type tasks.c. Once the program is compiled, you can see whether it has created the exe file. Just type dir, which is directory /w for y. Once you reach here, you can see your test.c file, and also you will see a file under the name of a.exe. By default, all the executable file will be named as A, unless you mention with the name that you prefer. So now if you want to execute this, just type A and then press enter. So it will get executed, and whatever command that you given in your C program just now will be executed, and you can see the printf statement has been working. So that's how you actually can test your compiler whether it's working or not. Once we have done our download and installation of our compiler, then we have actually concluded or completed part 1 of the installation process. Next, let's go to the part 2, which requires us to download Visual Studio Code And for that, let's go to Google Chrome and type download Visual Studio Code. Once you search for this, you will reach to many pages. You can select the first one, and when you reach there, you can actually click the one for Windows, click for download, and then select a path for you to download. Once you have downloaded, you can go to the downloads folder, and then you can click to install. But you can see here the latest version that I've downloaded is 1.52.1 at the point of recording. Earlier I also had downloaded 1.49.2, but it doesn't make much difference. If you have downloaded it earlier, you can still use the earlier version. So I'm going to install this, and we'll come back again once we have reached the installation completion. Click create a desktop icon. It's easier for us to access, and then click install. Once you reach here, while the launch Visual Studio checkbox is ticked, you can click the finish button. Okay, next we're going to add the C++ IntelliSense. For that, just click the extensions icon and then type Microsoft. Then you can see C++ IntelliSense. Just click install. Next we're going to add the code runner, so just type code runner here, and then you can see code runner by Junhan. Just click install. After this, we're going to create a folder inside our C drive. This is where many of the configuration files is going to be kept, and our project folder is also going to be kept here. So just go to your C drive and then create new folder and name it as project. Once you have created this folder, we'll be opening this folder from the Microsoft Visual Studio. Now let's open up the file, and then click open folder and select the folder that you have just created inside the C drive. Click select folder. Once you have done this, you can see the folder appearing here, and then you can close this welcome message, and then you also can start writing your codes. Once you have created the project folder and open it in Visual Studio Code just now, you are ready to go to the last part of configuration, which is part 3. Now here you need to go and open the command palette under view and type edit. So you'll see the C++ edit configuration UI. Okay, click view, then select command palette and then type edit. You will see edit configurations UI. Select that. Then after that, you need to do a lot of configuration here. We will actually make 3 changes. We'll change the compiler path to MinGW, bin and gcc.exe. Remember, this is where our compiler has been installed. And then we'll set the IntelliSense mode to GCC 64-bit, and also we will set the C to C 2011 version. So we will do that, and after that we'll see ccpp properties.json file will be created under a folder called .vs code. So let us do this one by one. Let us go to the place where we selected the edit configuration, and then now you can see the compiler path has already been picked up. If it's not been picked up, you can select it, see MinGW, bin and gcc.exe. And then, as I mentioned to you, you can change the IntelliSense mode from 86 to 64, so you can support 64-bit. And then after that, you can leave the rest of the stuff. And then for the C standard, you can select C11 or C17. I will prefer C11. Then after that, you just can close. The moment you close, as I mentioned to you, there is a file that will be created under this .vs code folder. Now if you open this file, and the configuration that we did, which is the compiler path, the C standard that we wanted to follow, which is 2011, and the IntelliSense mode, which is GCC 64-bit, has already been set up here. Now this folder will be available in the project folder that we have created, so you can also go and check there. You can click your C drive and then go to the project folder. The project folder will have that VS Code .vs code with the JSON file. Do not delete this file, do not delete this folder, leave as it is, because this is the configuration that we have done, and it is going to be the same for all the projects, so do not disturb that. Next we're going to see step number 12, which is a bit lengthy step to build to create the build and run tasks in JSON. So I have splitted this task into 3 parts. The first one is to select the configure task under terminal and then type task. So let's go to Visual Studio Code again, and then click terminal, and then click configure task, and then type task here. Just create tasks.json from file from template and click others. You will reach to this point, and this is the place where you need to do a lot of configuration. Let's go back and see the part number 3 here. So we have done this one, and then once you have done that, we have created the file from template. Now we're going to edit that JSON file by taking the example from here. So the label that we want to give is compile. You can give whatever label you want, but I prefer to give compile. And the second label I want to give is run, and I want to give the GCC command because I'm using GCC compiler. So let's edit whatever that we can do. Let's go back here, and then the label I want to use compile. I will show you where this label will appear in the future, and then the command I want to use is GCC. Okay, I need to add the rest of the things, so I'll just put a comma here. Okay, I'm going to add the rest. The rest is going to be the arguments. Okay, I'll copy up to here, and for your information, I need to create the project file or project name, folder name, project 1, and store all the C files inside it. I'll show that later, but before that, let's do the configuration. So let me copy this. Okay, there's an extra curly bracket, remove that. Now what this means is that I'm going to put all my C files inside project 1 folder, which I have not created yet. I will be creating it soon, and it will take all the C files here and produce an output in an executable file in the same folder. Okay, now this is for compiling. For running, there are some codes that you need to just copy, so it is similar to the previous one. The only thing is the command is run. Okay, just paste it here. Okay, in fact you can copy and paste it here. The only difference is that change that compile to run, and then command you have to change from project 1 to project 1 dot project 1, because this is about executing the exe file, and then the dependsOn, it depends on this compilation. Okay, so you can quickly type this out and make sure you don't do any errors, because any syntax errors will not get the program compiled or executed. So once this is ready, you can save it. So you can go to file and click save, and this configuration is done. Then after that, we're going to create a folder called project 1 under this folder. So to create the folder called project 1, just click this icon. This is for you to create projects or folders, and then since our name is project 1, so we just type project 1, and then it has to be directly under the project folder, not under the VS Code folder. So I just drag and drop here, so it will be directly under the project folder. This folder you can minimize them because you are interested to see the files inside here. So we just click this one, and then we can create files. So in this case, I would like to create 3 files. Maybe the main file, maybe I can call it as my main.c. Okay, this has my main codes, and I would like to have another file called maybe AD. Okay, this is my add.c file, and I'm going to create one more file, my header file add.h, and I'm going to type the codes for them. Now I've already typed the codes for all the files. Okay, this is my main file. Let me make it bigger. So you can see my main file has two include statements. One is to include the header file, standard header file, and also my custom header file. This is my custom header file, which has the function prototype for the function that I created. Make it bigger, and the function that I've created is add function that takes two numbers and return the total of it. So I've not saved this file. You can use Ctrl S to save, or you can click file and save all. So all these files will be saved under the project1 folder that we have created. Now it is time for us to compile and run them. So let's minimize this window pane first. Click terminal and then run build task. Now the moment you click build task, the program will be compiled and an exe file will be created, and now the program is running. I'm going to enter 7. The next number is 5, and you can see it is producing the output 7 plus 5 is 12. So once you have done this program, you can close them, and in case in future if you want to create one more project, you can do the same step. But let's say that you are creating another project, name it as for instance project 2. Make sure that you change the configuration file accordingly. So bring it down here, okay, and then make sure you go to the VS Code and go to the task, and in your task.json file you need to change this to project 2. Then only it will be actually looking for all the files in all the C files in project 2 folder and create the exe file in project 2 folder as well. And also if you want to execute that file in project 2, make sure you change this to project 2. Then only you can create multiple projects and work on building and compiling running multiple projects. In the case where you want to create the exe file in different folder, you can do that, but you have to create a separate folder and configure the path here and also change the path here accordingly. But that is not really required. This is sufficient enough for you to get the work done. And another thing is, if you still remember, you actually had seen the project1 file. Maybe I would like to build again. Go to terminal, build task, and then you will see it is being compiling and also running. You see, now it's running. Earlier it was compiling. So that is actually coming from the name that we have given in our task.json. Remember the label that we have given, compile and run. And that will be actually will be displayed here. So when you compiling build it, it will show compiling and also running. So the label actually is for you to see here. So hope you can understand what you have learned today, and I hope this can help you to build projects in Visual Studio Code without much problem. Thank you, and please give a try.